Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, May 16th, 2022. Big weekend of games to recap with the NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs. Moving on to their next rounds, and I'll make series picks after I recap the games in each playoff. Major League Baseball, WNBA, Major League Soccer, golf, NASCAR, American Idol, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start with the NBA playoffs. They're on to the conference finals after what was an interesting weekend of games. So, Friday night, the Celtics defeat the Bucks by a score of 108-95 to force a Game 7. Jason Tatum, 46 points, facing elimination on the road, and Giannis had 44, 20, and 6, which is incredible. Warriors close out the Grizzlies 110-96 as they bounce back. Klay Thompson looked like the Klay Thompson of old. He had 30 points, and leading Memphis was Dylan Brooks with 30. And then Sunday, Game 7, Celtics over the Bucks 109-81 as the Celtics advance to the Eastern Conference Finals for the second time in 3 years, and I believe for the third time in 5 years, if my math's right. Grant Williams, it was his day, 27 points to lead the Celtics in scoring, and then Giannis had 25, 20, and 9. Giannis was the best player in the series, but they just had their stinker the wrong night, so it's just unfortunate for them. But good for the Celtics. They had to earn this one, and they earned it. And how about this? I think the biggest stunner of the weekend. The Mavericks over the Suns, 123-90 to win Game 7 on the road, going away. Luka Doncic, 39 points, 10 boards, 4 assists. And the leading scorer on Phoenix was Cam Johnson with 12. What a pathetic performance by Phoenix. I mean, it's just stunning how bad they were. I think that this is a missed opportunity for them. I think that their window could very well be closed with this current core, especially with Chris Paul at the age he is. Is he a player in decline now? Maybe. He had a couple great playoff games, and then he had a lousy series against Dallas. And Luka was the very best player in the series, and it wasn't even close. And Luka gives the Mavs a chance in the next series against the Warriors. And I really believe that the Suns could be facing some changes. I think DeAndre Ayton is a trade candidate. So that is something to monitor. Meanwhile, the other team that got eliminated was the Bucks. Disappointing finish. I think they're probably going to run it back. It's funny, the two teams that everybody thought was going to make the finals, both out in Game 7 in the second round, in the Bucks and the Suns. And the two teams made the finals last year. So we're going to see two new teams in the finals. So that is cool. But disappointing for Phoenix and for Milwaukee. So I think Phoenix is facing some change, and I think that Milwaukee will run it back and say we have the best player in basketball. We didn't have Chris Middleton for that series. So Milwaukee has a bucket list of excuses they could throw at us. No excuse for the Suns. I'm sorry. They had no injuries other than Devin Booker in the first round, but he came back and was really good in Game 5 against Dallas. And then they just shit the bed like they did in Game 7. That's just inexcusable. And now we have two new series. This will start the Eastern Conference Finals. We have the Celtics against the Heat. This is the rematch from the Bubble series when there was the Eastern Conference Final. Best player in the series, I think, will be Jason Tatum. Although you can make a case for Jimmy Butler. I think Tatum has answered a lot of questions in the playoffs about whether he could be the man on a championship team or not. Scoring over 40 points in an elimination game, I thought was impressive. I think that the teammates that he has have stepped up in a variety of ways. Jaylen Brown's had some terrific games in the postseason as well. Al Horford turns back the clock on occasion. And on the flip side, Miami, they had one stinker in Philadelphia, and with the exception of that, they've been outstanding in the playoffs. I'm not going to write them off in this series, like others people have said. It said that Boston, Milwaukee's the de facto finals, yada yada. But guess what? I'm not writing off the Heat. Jimmy Butler led this team to the finals 2 years ago. Bam's playing great. The only issue for Miami is the Kyle Lowry situation. For me, they might miss him in this Boston series. Lowry's somebody's obviously won a ring with Toronto. And the role guys, to me, have just been better at home than on the road, although they did step up in that Game 6 in Philly. So, I do have faith in Miami's role guys. Pick Celtics in 7. I do think Miami has a chance. I just have a feeling this is going 7. Miami's just really good. And I think this is going to be potentially another scenario where Boston comes back yet again from another 3-2 deficit. And the wild card here is that Miami is home court. And you would think that in a Game 7 that they'd be a lock, but no, this isn't 2012 with LeBron James. And by the way, this is the third time in the last 11 years that this has been the conference finals rematch in the East. But the other time was with LeBron against the KG Pierce team. So it's just funny thinking about that. So Celtics in 7, I don't feel good about it. I think Miami has a legit chance, and people are just overlooking them because they played an overrated Hawks team and a dysfunctional Philly team in the previous 2 rounds. And the Western Conference Finals, Dallas and Golden State. Best player in the series is Luka Doncic. No doubt about it. Maybe 3 years ago we would have said Stephen Curry. 2 years ago even we would have said Stephen Curry. But no. Luka, best player in the series. But 2 through 5 were all Warriors. Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Jordan Poole. It was 2 through 5. And there's a good chance that Gary Payton could be back in the series, which would be tremendous for Golden State from a defensive standpoint to help guard Luka Doncic. Dallas really did impress me by the way they won Game 7 and how they won their home games. Golden State, I just think, is a better team. And they have the experience. I think that Draymond Green is going to have a big series, like a throwback series. I'm going to pick Golden State in 6. I know a lot of people are probably going to pick Dallas because of Luka. But I just feel like Golden State is a better team, and they're getting Gary Payton back, and they're getting Steve Kerr back, which I think he's a better coach than Jason Kidd. And by the way, in the East series, I would pick Eric Spoelstra over over the Celtics coach, but I just feel that the Celtics are a better team. Ime Udoka, who I think has been amazing in these playoffs, but I think Eric Spoelstra is a better coach. But I'm going with against the Heat, obviously. In this series, I'm going with the better coach and better team, Steve Kerr and the Warriors. I'm taking them in 6. They'll win a game in Dallas. Just don't know which one. Oh, wait, it would be the closeout game. Because the Warriors have home court. So I think they win the closeout game in Dallas. I keep thinking that Dallas has home court for some reason. And then they don't. So that certainly helps my Golden State pick. So I'm going Golden State in 6 and Celtics in 7. All right, now we'll move on to the NHL. We'll go over the first round conclusions and we'll make picks for the second round. Friday night, Rangers over the Penguins 5-3 to force a Game 7. Panthers over the Capitals 4-3 in overtime to close out the Caps. Jonathan Huberdeau. It wasn't Jonathan Huberdeau. It was Carter Verhaeghe, who's been amazing in this series. And the Stars over the Flames 4-2 to force a Game 7. Saturday, 3 Game 7s. Hurricanes over the Bruins 3-2 to advance. Lightning over the Maple Leafs 2-1 to advance as they'll take on the Panthers. Oilers over the Kings 2-0 to advance. And then yesterday, Rangers over the Penguins 4-3 in overtime on a game winner by Artemi Panarin to advance. This will be the third time in the last 8 years that the Rangers have come back from a 3-1 series deficit. They did it back-to-back years in the second round against Pittsburgh and Washington, and now this year they did it against Pittsburgh. So twice in the last 9 years, they've done it against the Penguins, ironically enough. And in the other game 7 went to overtime as the Flames coming out on top 3-2 on a game winner by Johnny Hockey Gaudreau. So the second round begins Tuesday. And we're going to do the picks for the second round. We'll start with the Atlantic Lightning Panthers. Should be a fun series. Florida battle. I think the best player in the series is a hard call. But at gunpoint, I'm going to say it's probably going to be Andrei Vasilevsky or Alexander Barkov. Those are my 2 nominees for best guy in the series. I think this is going to be a tremendous, hard-fought, well-played series. The coaching advantage, I'd say John Cooper over Andrew Brunette, Burnett's done a great job with the Panthers this year, obviously, after they get rid of Quenneville, after that drama, and then they go on to win the President's Trophy. But I think John Cooper's the better coach. Better team, probably the Lightning from an experience standpoint, but this season the better team has been the Panthers. So, it's a tough call, but I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Lightning in 6 to advance to the conference finals for the third consecutive season. I just think the Lightning are better than the Panthers when it comes to the postseason. And the Lightning guys really have the championship pedigree. Never underestimate the heart of a champion. And I believe that the Lightning will move on. The other series in the East is the Rangers and the Hurricanes. That should be a really good series in the East. Best player in the series, I'm going to say, even though he wasn't great in round 1, but he ended up being the best player in Game 7 for the Rangers. And he was obviously the best player in Game 1 for the Rangers, and that's Igor Shesterkin. I think he's likely to be the best player in the series. And the other candidate, I think, is Sebastian Aho of Carolina. So, it's tough for this. And the coaching advantage, I would give it a slight edge to Ron Brind'Amour over Gerard Gallant. Although Gallant's been to a final, Brind'Amour is not. So that's why some people say Gallant has the advantage over Brind'Amour. But I love how Brind'Amour has done with the Hurricanes through the years. So I give Brind'Amour the slight edge over Gerard Gallant in the coaching department. I believe that the Hurricanes are awesome. I saw them in person a few weeks ago at the Garden against the Rangers in the regular season game, which they clinched the Metro Division in that game. They were impressive. And the fact that the Rangers came back and made it a one-goal game late was very impressive as well. But for a series pick, I'm going to go with the Hurricanes in 6. I just think they're better. I think their defense is better than the Rangers' defense. I think that Pittsburgh exposed Igor Shesterkin a little bit. But credit to Igor Shesterkin for bouncing back the way he did in the last 3 games to help the Rangers come back in that series against the Penguins. So, listen, I think he might get rattled on the road again. But the fact that he actually pulled it out in Game 6 was impressive to force the Game 7 for them to win. But on the same time, Carolina showed a vulnerability on the road in Boston. So guess what? I'm going to say this right now. I have Hurricanes in 6. And I'm going to say that Game 6 is potentially an overtime game that Carolina will pull out of their ass. But if the Rangers win a road game in the series, the Rangers will win the series. I'll just throw that out there. But that said, I do think Hurricanes in 6. But I think Game 6 goes to OT. It's weird that I think that if the Rangers win a road game, they'd win the series. But if their Canes are up 3-2 and say it goes to OT, maybe the Canes win it in OT or something like that. I know it's weird thinking like that, but that's just how I feel. So I'm going to go Hurricanes in 6 for the pick. Wouldn't rule out Canes in 7 or Rangers in 6 or 7 either. Next up to the West. Tomorrow night starts the Blues and the Avalanche. It'll be a really entertaining series. I really, truly believe that. Best player in the series is Nathan MacKinnon. No ifs or buts about it. To me, the big storyline of the series is Darcy Kemper and his eye injury. It looks like he is ready to go for Game 1 against the Blues, which might change how I feel about this series. But I still am skeptical that he's 100%. It's like when Tristan Jarry came back last night for Pittsburgh. He wasn't 100%, but he performed well. Played well enough for Pittsburgh to win, but Igor was just better. So that's good that he's back. Coaching advantage. This is a tough one between Craig Berube and Jared Bednar. I give the edge to Berube. Berube at least has won a cup. Bednar hasn't made it to the conference finals yet. But I am so tempted to pick St. Louis in this series. With Kemper not being 100%, with the experience that they've had through the years, and the irony is that Jordan Binghamton didn't play every game. He played in Game 6. He played in Game 5. He did play in Game 4. Game 3, the last game the Wild won. was Ville Husso. So Binghamton came back for Game 4 and was tremendous for them. So guess what? I'm just going to do it. I'm going to pick the Blues, and I'm going to say 7. I think the Avs are vulnerable. I really do. They showed some flaws in the Nashville series, but the reason why they swept them was because of the absence of Juicy Saros. I'm just nervous with Kemper's eye thing. That really makes me nervous. I love Darcy Kemper. I could be completely wrong about this, and the Avs could win in 5. They swept the Blues last year. Don't forget that. But I think the Blues are really good, and I actually think they're going to win this series. So big upset coming from yours truly here. Blues and 7 over to Colorado. And the last of the series is we have the Battle of Alberta, the Flames against the Oilers. This should be a tremendous series. Best player in the series is obviously Connor McDavid. That's easy. Coaching advantage, I'll say Daryl Sutter. He's won several cups. And Jay Woodcroft has done a nice job, but I just think Daryl Sutter's a better coach. He's a champion, and he's really done a great job with his Flames team all season long. So I give him the coaching advantage. The Oilers deserve credit for pulling out that Game 7 against LA. And McDavid with the big goal late to put the kibosh on the series. Jonathan Quick was just really good in that series other than Game 3 for Los Angeles to keep them in that series. And I think that they've exposed some problems with Edmonton. I'm not the biggest fan of Mike Smith. They do not have home ice in the series, which I think is a big deal. I'm going to go Calgary in 6 for the pick. I think the Flames are better. Jacob Markstrom is easily the better goaltender than Mike Smith. And they're just flat out a better team, and I just feel that Edmonton's a one-trick pony. So I'm going to say the Flames in 6 games over the Edmonton Oilers. All right, now I'll move on to Major League Baseball. We're going to quickly go over the games from the weekend, and we will look ahead to today's games. Friday, Yanks over the White Sox 10-4, Reds over the Pirates 8-2, Brewers over the Marlins 2-1, Astros over the Nats 6-1, Tigers over the O's 4-2, Mariners over the Mets 2-1, Rays over the Blue Jays 5-2, Padres over the Braves 11-6, Red Sox over the Rangers 7-1, Twins over the Guardians 12-8, Guardians over the Cardinals 8-2, Royals over the Rockies 14-10, Angels over the A's 2-0, D-backs over the Cubs 4-3, and the Phillies over the Dodgers 12-10 in 10. Saturday, White Sox over the Yankees 3-2 on a walk-off single by Luis Robert. Cardinals over the Giants 4-0, Braves over the Padres 6-5, Angels lose to the A's 4-3 doubleheader game 1. Tigers over the O's 3-0, Marlins over the Brewers 9-3, Blue Jays over the Rays 5-1. Pirates over the Reds 3-1. Red Sox over the Rangers 11-3. Nats over the Astros 13-6. Guardians over the Twins 3-2 and 10. Mets over the Mariners 5-4. Cubs over the D-backs 4-2. Rockies over the Royals 10-4. Angels over the A's 9-1, and the Phils over the Dodgers 8-3. And yesterday, the Padres over the Braves 7-3 and 11. Pirates over the Reds 1-0. Astros over the Nats 8-0. Tigers over the O's 5-1. Brewers over the Marlins 7-3, Mariners over the Mets 8-7, Rays over the Blue Jays 3-0, Twins over the Guardians 3-1, Yankees over the White Sox 5-1, Rangers over the Red Sox 7-1, Royals over the Rocks 8-7, Angels over the A's 4-1, Cubs over the D-backs 3-2, Dodgers over the Phils 5-4, and the Cardinals over the Giants 15-6. You heard that right, 15-6 on Sunday Night Baseball. Today's game, 6:40 of the Tigers and the Rays. We have Corey Kluber and Alex Faedo. The Rays are -210. The Tigers are +176. Over under 7.5. -110 each way. Tigers plus 1.5 is minus 128. Rays minus 1.5 is plus 106. I like the over. Corey Kluber has not been that great for Tampa. Fado's been okay for the Tigers. Bullpens could blow up. I like the over. Nats Marlins. Aaron Sanchez and Sandy Alcantara. Marlins minus 210. Nats plus 176. Over under 8. Overs minus 106. Unders minus 114. Nats plus 1.5 is minus 118. Marlins minus 1.5 is minus 102. I like the under a lot. It's juiced, but I like it. I think Alcantara is going to pitch great. 7 o'clock, Yankees Orioles. Luis Severino against Kyle Bradish. Yanks minus 194. Orioles plus 162 over under 7.5. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Yanks minus 1.5 and O's plus 1.5 is minus 110 each way. For this game, I'm going to go Yankees first half run line minus 1.5 and minus 114. Or minus a half, I should say. Mariners Blue Jays. Chris Flexen and Yusei Kikuchi. So I wonder if we'll see Robbie Ray in this series. Jays minus 162. Mariners plus 136. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Mariners plus 1.5 is minus 156. Blue Jays minus 1.5 is plus 130. 45.5% is the Mariners' percentage to win this game, and they're a pretty nice underdog, so I'm going to take them here to knock off the Blue Jays. Send the Blue Jays to 500. Astros Red Sox. Jake Odorizzi and Garrett Whitlock. Red Sox favored, minus 130. Astros plus 108, over under 8.5. Overs minus 106, unders minus 114. Astros plus 1.5 is minus 194. Red Sox minus 1.5 is plus 160. I'm going to go first half result, Boston Red Sox at even money. I just don't know if the Red Sox will actually win the game. But I just think that they'll absolutely win the first half. Cardinals Mets, great series here. Miles Mikolas and Trevor Williams. Mets minus 122, Cardinals plus 104, over under 8, overs minus 108, unders minus 112. Cardinals minus 1.5 is plus 164, Mets plus 1.5 is minus 200. I'm going to go first half result tie plus 470. I just think this is a great matchup here. But I would, in theory, go at St. Louis, but the fact that they're line with FBI and Vegas makes me kind of nervous. I think that the Mets are just really good. 7:30, the Braves and the Brewers. Ian Anderson and Freddie Peralta. Second time these two teams face off, I believe, this year. Milwaukee minus 144, Atlanta plus 122, over under 8, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Braves plus 1.5 is minus 182, Brewers minus 1.5 is plus 140 or plus 150. Tough one. I like the over. Pirates Cubs. Dylan Peters and Wade Miley. Cubs minus 158, Pirates plus 134, over under 8.5. Overs minus 122, unders even money. Pirates plus 1.5 is minus 160, Cubs minus 1.5 is plus 132. 44.5% chance to win the game, and they're plus 134. I'm taking Pittsburgh. 8 o'clock, you have the Angels and the Rangers. Noah Syndergaard and John Gray. The Angels are minus 138, Texas plus 118, over under 8, minus 110 each way. Angels minus 1.5 is plus 132, Texas plus 1.5 is minus 160. I'm going with the over. I think that's a no-brainer. White Sox Royals. We don't know who's going for Chicago. Brad Keller's going for KC. Not posted on FanDuel. I'm going to check DraftKings very quickly to see if they have it, and they do not. Oh, no, that's the Texas Angels game. So, no, they do not. If I had to make a pick, if the Royals are a big enough favorite, I'll take Chicago. 8:30, you have the Giants and the Rockies. You have Alex Wood against Antonio Senzatella. Giants minus 154, Rockies plus 130, over under 11, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Giants minus 1.5 is even money, Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 120. I love the under. Why is it so high? 9:30, Twins A's. Chris Archer and Zach Logue. Twins minus 126, A's plus 108, over under 8, overs minus 106, unders minus 114. Oakland plus 1.5 is minus 166, Twins minus 1.5 is plus 138. FBI has Oakland favored 53.6%, and they're plus 108. Give me Oakland. And last but not least, 10 o'clock, you have the D-backs and the Dodgers. D-backs over 500, by the way. Madison Bumgarner and Tony Gonsolin. Dodgers minus 260, D-backs plus 215, over under 8.5. Overs minus 115, unders minus 105. D-backs plus 1.5 is minus 104. Dodgers minus 1.5 is minus 115. I'm taking the Diamondbacks on the run line, plus 1.5 and minus 104. I don't have the balls to pick them to win outright, so I'm just going to pick them to cover the plus 1.5 to keep it close against their division rivals. All right, now we'll go over the WNBA from the weekend. We'll see if there's games tonight. If there is, we'll preview and pick them. And there's not. So we'll just go over the weekend's results. Friday night, Commissioner's Cup, Fever over to Liberty, 92-86 in OT. Wings over to Mystics, 94-86. Aces over to Dream, 96-73. Saturday, Commissioner's Cup, Mercury over to Storm, 69-64. Sun over to Sparks, 77-60. Sky over to Lynx, 82-78. And Sunday, the Wings over to Liberty, 81-71, and Commissioner's Cup, the Dream over to Fever, 85-79. Alrighty, MLS time. We'll go over those results now. We have no games until Wednesday, so another week of Wednesday games, and they have a big slate on Wednesday. Saturday, Orlando over Toronto, 1-0. Colorado over LAFC, 2-0. Charlotte loses to Montreal, 2-0. NYCFC over Columbus, 2-0. Vancouver, San Jose, 3-3 draw. Philly, Red Bulls, 1-1 draw. Cincinnati over Chicago, 2-1. Miami and DC United, 2-2 draw. Houston over Nashville, 2-0. Salt Lake over Austin, 2-1. Portland over KC, 7-2. And Dallas over LA Galaxy, 3-1. Sunday, Atlanta, New England, 2-2 draw. And Seattle over Minnesota, 3-1. All right, now we'll go over the results from the Byron Nelson Championship. Your winner with the score of 26 under, Kyung-Hoo Lee. Second with 25 under, Jordan Spieth. Tied for third with 24 under, Sebastian Munoz and Hideki Matsuyama. Tied for fifth with 23 under, Xander Schauffele, Justin Thomas, and Ryan Palmer. Eighth with 22 under is Charles Schwartzel. Tied for ninth with 21 under, James Hahn, Peter Malnati, and Davis Riley. Tied for 12th with 20 under, Christian Ziedenhout, Alex Thoren, and Matt Kuchar. Tied for 15th with 19 under, Scotty Scheffler and Bryce Garnett. Tied for 17th with 18 under, Seamus Power, Mito Pereira, Taylor Hogue, Nate Lashley, Jason Kokrak, Francesco Molinari, Bayo Hostler, Ju Ha-young Kim. Tied for 25th with 17 under, Michael Thompson, Rory Sabatini, Scott Stallings, David Lipsky, Austin Smotherman, Vincent Whaley, Joaquin Neiman. Tied for 32nd with 16 under, Patrick Rogers, Taylor Moore, Adam Scott, Maverick McNeely, Max Hubbard, and Trey Mullinax. Mark Hubbard. My apologies. Tied for 38th with 15 under, Carlos Ortiz, Stefan Yeager, J.J. Spawn, Conrad Schindler, Cam Champ, Brandon Grace, Pat Perez, and David Skins. Tied for 46th with 14 under. Emiliano Grillo, Aaron Ray, Andrew Novak, Colin Taryn, and Justin Lauer. Tied for 51st with 13 under, Matthew Neesmith, Jason Day, Aaron Weiss, Lucas Griffin, Mark Leachman, Brandon Wu, Joseph Brumlett, and Jared Wolf. Tied for 59th with 12 under, Dustin Johnson, Tyler Duncan, Ian Poulter, Jonathan Vegas, Matthias Schwab, and Tommy Fleetwood. Tied for 65th with 11 under, Wesley Bryant, Brendan Haas, Peter Yolen, and Paul Barjan. Tied for 69th with 10 under, Dylan Fratelli, Seth Reeves, Jason Headley, and Adam Svevson. Tied for 73rd with 9 under, Mariana Gillick, Seb Straka, Vincent Taylor. Tied for 76th with 8 under, Keith Mitchell, Matt Trainer, and Kiradek Fremont. Tied for 79th with 7 under, Adam Shank and Sati Thiglia. Tied for 81st with 6 under, Davis Vanderwalt and Kyle Wischler. Tied for 83rd with 4 under, Max McGreevy and Pat Gazier. And notables cut: Henry Higgs, Wyndham Clark, Sam Piercy, Lucas Donald, Luke Liss, Sodi Kodiara, Brendan Todd, Sam Ryder, Adam Putnam, Sam Burns, Henrik Stetson, Walter Zalatoris, Taylor Gooch, Bubba Watson, Brant Snecker, Mackenzie Hughes, Siwoo Kim, Hudson Swafford, Henrik Norlander, Kramer Hickok, Jason Duffner, Charlie Hoffman, Ben Coles, Lucas Hodges, Bo Hogg, Charles Howell III, Doc Redman, Kevin Tway, Kevin Kisner, Roger Sloan, Kurt Katayama, Brandon Hagee, Cam Piercy, Cam Thompson, Chesner V, Martine Laird, James Haw, Joaquim Herman, Matt Wallace, Adam Hadwin, Matt Wolf, Lee Westwood, Grayson Sig, Richie Wierenski, Dylan Wu, JJ Colleen. And among those withdrew, Jonas Blixt. Or that's the only withdrawal. All right, now move on to NASCAR. We will look at the results from the 2 races. At the Truck Series from Kansas, your winner was Zane Smith. Coming in second was Ty Majeski. Third, Grant Effinger. Fourth, Cam Smith. Or Chandler Smith. Fifth, Christian X. Sixth, John Hunter Nemechek. Seventh, Matt DiMendetto. Eighth, Derek Kraus. Ninth, Matt Crafton. 10th, Ben Rhodes. The rest: Colby Howard, Riley Herbst, Chase Purdy, Stuart Friesen, Carson Hostvar, Tyler Rankin, Haley Deegan, Tanner Gray, Lawless Allen, Tate Fogelman, Tyler Hill, Dean Thompson, Austin Wainsmouth, Jesse Little, Chris Wright, Jack Wood, Timmy Hill, Ryan Huff, Trey Hutchins, Josh Rumey, Spencer Boyd, Blaine Perkins, Corey Heim, Matt Mills, and Jesse Iwuji. And the Cup Series from yesterday at Kansas, your winner, Kurt Busch. Second, Kyle Larson. Third, Kyle Busch. Fourth, Denny Hamlin. Fifth, Chris Bell. Sixth, my pick of Martin Truex Jr. Seventh, Ross Chaston. Eighth, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ninth, Alec Bowman. 10th, Bubba Wallace. The rest: Austin Cindric, Ryan Blaney, Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, William Byron, Joey Logano, Noah Gragson, Corey LaJoie, Ty Dillon, Harrison Burton, Cole Custer, Michael McDowell, Chase Briscoe, Todd Gilliland, Eric Almirola, Chris Boucher, Josh Bilicki, Chase Elliott, Tyler Riddick, JJ Gailey, Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, Cody Ware, Justin Haley, and BJ McGlad. All right, now we'll recap last night's episode of American Idol. It was the top 5. It was Carrie Underwood week. And round 1, each contestant sang a Carrie song. Hunter Girl did Undo It to open it up. She was outstanding, like she always is. Then Leah did Carrie's cover of I'll Stand By You by the Pretenders. She was really good that round. Fritz performed I Want to Remember by Need to Breathe featuring Carrie Underwood. Noah performed So Small by Carrie Underwood. And then Nicolina performed Blown Away. Everybody was great that round, I thought. And I thought the best performer of that round was Hunter Girl. Then Phineas performed his single Naked. So that was pretty cool to see a live performance in the show. Round 2. I really don't know if there was a particular theme. No, it was Contestant's Choice. So it was Contestant's Choice round 2. That's what I thought. Leah went first and performed Separate Ways by Journey. She was really good that round. Hunter Girl went next, performing Girl Crush by Little Big Town. Fritz performed Young Blood by 5 Seconds of Summer. Nicolina performed All I Ask by Adele. And Noah performed Working Man by Larry Fleet. I thought Hunter Girl and Noah were the best 2 performers of the night in both rounds. I thought they killed it. I thought the 5th best performance of the night was Leah's I'll Stand By You, which is why I felt that the top 3 should have been Hunter Girl, Noah, and Leah. And I love Nicolina. I think she was great, but not good enough this time to make the finale. And I obviously felt that Fritz wasn't up to par with the rest. So he should be proud he made it this far. And I love Fritz. I think he was a great contestant. And who made the top 3? The 3 I predicted, Hunter Girl, Noah, and Leah. That is a fabulous top 3. There's a 3-hour finale on Sunday. A lot of big-name performances. It's the 20th anniversary finale. So I think we'll see a lot of big names. We know Carrie's performing. We know Michael Bublé's performing. Flo Rida will make an appearance, so it'd be cool to see him. So it should be a really, really good finale on Sunday, and I'll predict the winner of American Idol on the Friday podcast. For today, some things that need to be discussed, obviously, after an interesting weekend. Obviously, Twitter's going crazy about the basketball and the hockey and whatnot. But Anthony Edwards roasts the Suns on Instagram and then deletes the story. Chris Paul says he's not retiring. We'll be right back here next year, he says. And Devin Booker says it was a good old-fashioned ass-whooping to end. Stephen Curry and Dylan Brooks exchanged jabs. And Dylan Brooks says the Warriors are getting old, and Steph Curry took exception. Yesterday, Damian Lillard liked a tweet suggesting him and DeAndre Ayton should team up, so that's interesting. DeAndre Ayton didn't play very much in Game 7, and Monty Williams says it's internal when asked why DeAndre only played 17 minutes in Game 7. Daryl Morey says that the team is keeping Doc Rivers. So he's safe, and I think they're just using the whole Ben Simmons saga and Joel Embiid's injury as the excuse for him to come back. I think there's a chance he leaves for the Lakers. So we'll see if that is to be or not. But if Doc returns to Philly, everyone and their brother knows that he's a lame duck next year. And it's going to be a big story in the media. For sure. Nike unlikely to extend Kyrie, as uncertainties around Kyrie's NBA future have made it unlikely that Nike extends Kyrie's signature shoe deal. And of course, the Lakers are watching Doc Rivers. We talked about that a second ago. Sidney Crosby was not happy that Marcus Peterson had to leave the ice when his helmet was ripped off. He said it was terrible. Drew Brees, there's rumors that he's leaving NBC, and he tweets out he's undecided on his future, and he even tweeted out that he might return to play football. But if that's the case, it's to me a no-brainer that he would go back to the Saints. Who just signed Jarvis Landry to a 1-year deal. So now they have Landry, Michael Thomas, and Chris Olave as their receiving trio. Brittany Griner's detention extended as the Russian court adds 30 days to her detention and also denies a request for house arrest. This is just getting sadder and more ridiculous. Just bring her home. She does not deserve to be in Russia right now. She deserves to be playing with the Phoenix Mercury, helping them win basketball games. Jarrett Kelenic got sent down to AAA over the weekend. And obviously, the Mariners were playing the Mets. And the Mets got criticized for trading Jarrett Kelenic for Robinson Cano and Edwin Diaz. And now the Mets look good in that deal because Edwin Diaz has seemed to bounce back. And Kelenic's in AAA. We talked about how Gary Payton might be back for this series. We did not see Chris Middleton for Milwaukee. Danny Green torn ACL after collision with Joel Embiid during the game against the Heat. There's rumors that Gronk might be retiring as he responded to Leonard Fournette's post and had people speculating. Panthers still eyeing veteran quarterback despite drafting Matt Corral. The Raiders traded Brian Edwards to the Falcons for a 2023 fifth-round pick. I don't mind that deal for Atlanta. The Cardinals are signing Nick Grant, and he'll be participating in rookie camp. Braden Point got hurt. And took a hard hit by Mark Giordano in Game 7. And he stayed in the game. Tom Wilson's injury was significant as he says, "My summer sucks now," when addressing the rehab for his knee injury from Game 1. And Ovi says that the elimination was effed up. And he goes, "It's on me, it's on Becky, it's on Osh, it's on Carly, it's on everybody." And the Leafs are the first team in history with Major League Baseball, the NBA, and the NHL to lose a win-or-take-all game in the first round of the playoffs 5 years in a row, which is insane. Absolutely insane. So this year they lose to the Lightning. Last year they lose to Carey Price and the Canadiens. In the bubble they lose to Columbus. In the year before the bubble, they lost. I don't even remember who they lost to in 2019 or in 2018. And I know they lost to the Capitals in 17. The Giants signed their 2 first-rounders, Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau. And get this, guys, 2 fans' requests in a $6 billion lawsuit against the Giants and the Jets that the 2 teams drop in New York since they play in New Jersey. Ridiculous. They play in the New York metro area. So, there you have it. Ronald Acuna is having an MRI after missing his 3rd straight game. Clayton Kershaw to the injured list with back inflammation and says he doesn't feel great, but is confident in his ability to return after the stint. George Springer left the game on Friday night against the Rays after crashing into a center field wall. A-Rod's team denies the Marlins rumor and says he's 100% focused on NBA and WNBA teams. I'm convinced that A-Rod's going to be involved in a potential NBA expansion team with Vegas down the road. I mean, it's either going to be him or that group that bought the Penguins and the Red Sox. So we shall see. The Canucks are keeping Bruce Boudreau, so that is great news. He deserves to stay. He helped turn that team around, although they did not make the postseason. And non-sports news, the baby formula shortage is dominating the headlines. And former President Donald Trump slams sending, he created $40 billion in aid amid massive baby formula shortage. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. There's some interesting ways we can go with Best Bet. Best Bet was obviously a winner on Friday night with the Rangers-Penguins game undoubtedly going over. So for tonight, it's Best Bet. I really like that over in the Rays-Tigers game. I think that's low. Like, Corey Kluber's not the Corey Kluber of old. Alex Faedo's been okay. So I'm going to lay a half unit on over 7.5 between the Tigers and the Rays for my best bet of the day. All right, so that's it for today's show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything and then looking ahead to the start of the second round of the Stanley Cup in the conference finals in the NBA. We have the NBA draft lottery tomorrow, so we'll do predictions for that. And obviously news and notes and best bet for you as well. Hope you guys have a nice day, everyone.